Hey, how's it going, everybody? A while back, a few months back, a friend of mine, Trevor 2000, I think that was the name, we were discussing, he was asking me about teepees. Now, in general, teepees were put up by the Indians, and what they did is they leaned up like 3 or 4 sticks to start with, and then they leaned up several more sticks, and then they covered it with buffalo hide. You know, that's his standard traditional teepee. He asked if I slept in a teepee, and there was another friend of mine, the Outdoorsman 50, and he's another video maker. He's got videos on his channel. Go check him out. He mentioned teepees too, and it kind of jogged my memory and made me think about this video. But I've got 3 bizarre teepees. Yeah, I know how to make a standard one, but everybody's seen them, so I'm gonna make 3 totally just weird teepees. I think you're gonna like them. So let's go find a spot and let's go get started on them. Well, Nick, which one do you think I should start out with first? There's 3 of them.
Well, heck, just start out with the best teepee.
I know which one that'll be then. That'll be the Tarp Tub Teepee. All right. Now we're gonna start out with what's known as the Tarp Teepee or the Tarp Tub Teepee because of the way the floor is. And in my opinion, it's the best. Okay. Now, what you want to do is you want to grab 4 sticks. Okay. Let's see right here. You want to grab 4 sticks, and 2 of them. Lay that down. 2 of them. What you want to do? See if you find bottoms of them. 2 of them. What you want to do is you want to kind of round the bottoms off, because 2 of them are going to be sitting on your tarp. So what you want to do is you want to kind of round the bottoms off a little bit so that they won't, you just kind of carve on them a little bit so that what they do is they won't poke a hole through your tarp. Now, the tarp that I'm going to be using is going to be a 15 by 12. That's a lot bigger tarp than what I normally carry, but with just a little bit of tweaking, honestly, these teepees can be made for 2 people. Because a lot of times I'll carry like a 7 by 9 whenever I'm by myself. Okay, all right. But anyway, that's the basic idea right there. I might can finish them up a little bit later on. But anyway, let me put this back. All right, what you want to do is take these. You put 2 on there. Let's see. You want to arrange these so that you got 4 of them. And it's pretty neat to be able to use your backpack. Let me pull this out right here. Alright, take 4 of these here, and you want to lay these right here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to move the camera so that. Alright, now what I got here is I got my 4 sticks, logs, saplings, whatever you want to call them right here. Now, there's not a whole lot of weight on here, so if you had to, you could probably use some dry ones, some dead ones if you had to. But I start out with 24 feet of paracord. Okay, now I just wrap it, cut it on one end, and what I'm going to be doing is a technique that is called frapping. Okay, somebody had asked me about it before. Okay, but you just tie it on that end. Now, what you do, can you see this pretty good from there?
Yeah.
Okay, what you want to do is you want to go over a log, under, and then over. Okay, and then you do the opposite on the way back. You go over the one and under the one. Okay, see that right there? You're doing it opposing each time. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to do that so that you've got like 4 wraps. All right, you got 1, 2. You only see 3 wraps, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got, well, that's actually 5 right there. It may not matter, but anyway. What you do next is once you've got that done, you want to kind of spread this out, and then you start wrapping it around this ways. And what you want to do is you're pulling this tight 4 times, okay? And then you cross over, and then you do this 4 more times. Alright, now what you can see right here is what I've done is called frapping. It's where you go around it 4 or 5 times, and then you go in the middle to tighten it up 4 or 5 times. Okay. Now when you get done, you're gonna have a little bit of cord left over, a little bit of feet. That ain't no big deal, you just do that. Okay, now the framework's ready to go. So the next thing we're gonna do is the tarp. Now this tarp here, it's really not that big for a 12 by 15. I've added a few grommets in certain locations for it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna unroll this in a nice flat spot, and then I'll show you how the frame sits on it. All right, now what you wanna do is, it's a pretty big tarp. It's better if you have a big wide open space, but what you do is you lay it out, okay? And on this end here, I've added several grommets. So what you wanna do is pull it over, okay? Pull it all the way over like that. I don't know, maybe 6 inches maybe, okay? Now you got your framework over here. So what you want to do is take your framework and you want to put the 2 big ones there on the outside, right on the outside, okay? Now remember I said for you to round off the bottoms? That's because you want the bottoms sitting directly on the tarp, okay? You got these 2 out here. Remember you got your paracord hanging down. Alright. You get your frame up there. Alright, you get it so far. You got a lip right up there on the front. You got your 2 that you got rounded off on the tarp and the others in front of the tarp. Okay? Now what you do, you grab the back of the tarp. You pull it up. Let's see. Okay, now it ain't quite high enough, so what you want to do is spread these out a little bit. Because you want to get it to where the tarp comes over the top. Well, you take the paracord and you feed it through, just like that. You feed that through, and then you put it on the top. Okay, now that's supposed to pull it up right there. All right. I got that part up. Now what you want to do, you grab one of the corners over here and you want to feed that through.
Ooh, seems like a storm's coming in.
I think it is. Alright, you grab that one and you pull that through and then you tie it off. Now see, this is supposed to come on over on the top. I'm thinking you can adjust it later. And then you come over here. And then you grab the other corner. And then you feed the paracord through it. Okay? And then you pull it up to right here. And you attach it here. Okay? Just wrap it around a few times. It ain't going nowhere. So now you take the sides, and the sides get pulled completely around, okay? And then the sides right here, you can use a couple of carabiners or some paracord to tie it off right here. And then this other one.
What's that O shape right there?
This other one, see the wind's blowing already. The other one comes over right here. What you can do right here, find the bottom. Yeah, they're supposed to be there, these. See that grommet right there? Let's see this right here, man. I should have had this out already. And then what you do here is you put a grommet on here. I mean a carabiner on here. Okay, and that holds it. And the way you get into it is you crawl in from this side. Okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this up so that I can show you how the bathtub floor part of it works. I think I'm gonna fold this under so that you can see. Maybe that'll stay and the wind won't blow it. But you get the basic idea on how to close it up, right? Alright. I'm just kind of rolling this up out of the way, like I say, because this ain't... Now during the daytime, you can just kind of roll it up back like this and use a couple of carabiners on it. Now right here, the way you want to do the floor, what makes it a bathtub floor, see this ain't gonna stay. What makes it a bathtub floor is you grab some of these, and you'll stab these in the ground, and then you'll carabiner these to the stakes, and that's what keeps it up off the ground. Now this takes a little bit of fine tuning, but basically what it is this will keep, if you just got your tarp laying on the ground, then you can get all kinds of creepy crawlies coming in on you. This will actually keep it up off the ground. Alright? And you can put a couple of more out here, but you get the basic idea. Okay? Alright, now I got the final carabiner on there. I had to run back and get some more carabiners, because it takes carabiners to keep these edges here pulled back for during the day when you want to have it open. Now as you can see, you got stakes. I've used eye stakes and carabiners all the way across, and they really need to be taller, but basically what you're doing is you've got a lip all the way across that's going to keep the creepy crawlies out. Now if you wanted to, this thing is just fine to lay in it like it is, but you know how we are about the Holiday Inn, and you can hang your light from up there.
Holiday Inn? That reminds me of someone. Oh yeah, Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls? Why does it remind you of him?
Because he always stayed in one.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? Now, like I say, you can... What makes it a Tarp Tub Teepee, is the ends are curled completely up, the back is completely sealed up with the bottom, and then you've got this lip on the front that makes it like a tub. Now, if you want it to be very, very comfortable, just like the Holiday Inn.
Bear Grylls.
Yeah, Bear Grylls. Then you can use the old backpack as a pillow. Have you a foam pad down. Like I say, you can hang your light, or you know, whatever you want. You can hang whatever you want from that paracord that's tied up the two insides. Then you got you a nice wool blanket right here. Slide this on up a little bit. And then you just fold out your wool blanket. Isn't that neat?
Very neat.
So that's the first teepee. I'm gonna fold back these sides. I'm gonna fold them back over so that you can see how they look. Okay, let's leave all this stuff in here. Now the way you're gonna do that,
I say, tonight this is certainly going to be my teepee that I sleep in.
oh, you're sleeping in this one tonight?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, you got carabiners on each end, okay? So what you want to do is you take this end, take this end right here, pull this over, just find you a spot to carabiner it to. Alright, so see now you got that part right there carabinered in. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this other end and you're going to carabiner it off somewhere. And it may be on the inside right here. Okay, so the way you get in it is you're gonna get in it and you're gonna drag this under and carabiner, okay? Because you got your opening right here. That's how you get in for the night. Reach up under, drag it over. See? And there's where you clip it to. Say goodnight, Nick.
Good night. Oh yeah, and P.S. Knock knock. It's not time to go to sleep.
Alright. Alright, which one next, Nick? You want to do the one that's real hard to do?
I was fixing to say that. Yes,
Alright.
let's do that.
This next one's one of them ones that depends on the trees that you find. Alright, now this next one is an absolute bare bones, I don't want to get rained on, I don't want to die type of shelter. It is not, I repeat, it is not going to win a beauty contest. Now, this is another one of them shelters. It's called the Living...
I give it a 3.
Huh?
I give it a 3.
A 3?
A rating of a 3.
Oh, well, alright. I don't think you've ever seen this one, Nick, because I really don't like doing this one, but it is considered a teepee. It is the living tree teepee, because you don't really cut trees down. You just kind of pull them together at the top. So, alright, I got this old tarp. I didn't even fold it up. I just bunched it up. Okay, so now what we want to do is you pick out 4 trees. You pick out 4 trees that are just reasonably small. Okay, enough that you can pull them over. And what's bad is this is a different shelter every time depending on what kind of trees you find. Now let's try this right here. What you want to do is you want to grab you up some rope, and you want to pick out 4 trees. We got 2 there, 2 there, and a little one there. I think this will work. All right, so what you want to do, come on over here, bring camera on over here just a little bit. What you want to do is you want to tie it off on one. Okay, you're going to tie that off on one about, I guess, head high, eye height. Okay, and this is going to, like I said, this is going to look completely horrible. You know, this is going to be a horrible looking shelter.
Oh God, it's ugly.
It is, ain't it? All right, now what you want to do with the rope is you want to take the rope and you want to put the rope over here. Okay. Pick out one over here. Pick out one over here. Pick out one over here. Now comes the fun part.
Connecting
Pick
them.
out one over here. Yeah, pick one over here. All right, ready? Now, this is where you get to use the old foot. And you just start pulling. And what you're going to do is you're pulling them in.
They're all moving.
And then when you're going to start wrapping around them, are you following me? You see what I'm doing? Oh.
Ooh, it looks like fun.
Hey, look at this. We're going to wind up with 5 trees.
Huh.
It ain't too bad. You know what? You want to kind of stay high up right here. Okay? Are you starting to get the idea? Now, like I said, you gotta
Sort of.
you gotta have the ideal trees for this. Now I'm pulling them together. Okay. You might have to get another view of this. All right, let's wrap that around a few times. Okay, you get the basic idea of it.
Sort of.
Now what you're doing is you're pulling that together, and then on the outside you want to trim off whatever branches. Okay, you're trimming off whatever branches, Now I know that ain't that great on the tree, but there's lots of trees around here and it ain't gonna kill it. Now like see this branch over here? I'm not gonna cut it off because it'll pull it over. Cut off them. Those will pull over. That one won't. And you ain't got none on here. So basically, for the people that are concerned for the environment, this actually ain't that bad, because instead of cutting down 4 trees, I have pulled them in and wound up just cutting like 2 or 3 branches. Because the rest of this stuff, and like see this branch here, I'll just pull it over inside. And that canopy up inside there ain't bad at all. Okay, I'll shove this in there. Now a real heavy rain, real heavy, what you're gonna have to do is go up a little higher with clearing the branches. And you're gonna have to, another thing that you can do is you can take more rope and you can tie rope across 2 of the biggest trees, and you can stand on it to get up higher to pull them together. Okay, does that make sense? All right, now let's see. I want to get you in a different shot. Here, follow me over here. All right, now follow me right here, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna pull out next. Okay. Now here's another thing. If you got a little bit of extra rope left over here, you can use it to kind of tie it up if you want to put a light up in the top. Now, if you wanted to, I'm gonna put the tarp on last so that you can see what I'm doing in here on the inside. Okay. Now, if you wanted to, let's see what we got here. If you wanted to, you could just use a bivy blanket, but I'm going to use this opportunity to show something that someone had asked me about. Now, I'm not real huge on sleeping on the ground, but with the teepee, you know, you're pretty much close to going to have to sleep on the ground. Anyway, put that right there. Somebody asked me one time what I did about snakes. Now, honestly, when I've been out in the woods, I haven't run into that many snakes. When I've been in the swamp, I have, but in the swamp, I've always been up off the ground. Now, in something like this, you could lay in a bivy bag or a sleeping bag inside this teepee, but like they say, cool weather, sometimes it's been known that you can have a snake come and try to sneak in with you and sleep with you. So what I use is I have a camo mover's blanket. Okay, it's padded. It's meant for moving furniture. It's meant for putting between motorcycles and 4-wheelers and things like that. So now what I do is I'm gonna tie this off right here on this tree. Okay. Now this is just kind of a temporary tie right here, because I'm gonna see what length I got, because this shelter is there's no science to this shelter. This shelter is just sort of here, and you just you have to deal with what trees you have. Then you find another tree over here. Here, you wanna come over here, Nick? A little bit closer.
Oop. There's a hole there.
I know. Alright, I'm pretty sure this one's gonna stay here, so I'm gonna go ahead and tie it. Okay, you got another corner tied off right here. Okay. And so I keep paracord, getting all tangled up all over the place. I keep paracord tied off to this thing right here. Now what I'm gonna do with this one is, let's see, I'm gonna pull this one up here. Alright, you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing here, Nick?
Uh-huh.
I'm sort of pulling this thing up. You still got me in shot?
Yeah.
Alright, what I'm kind of doing here is trying to pull this up. Okay. Alright. I'm going to pull this one up to right here. Let's see. Yeah, that'd be good enough. See, like I say, this ain't the best trees in the world. And then this one, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie it off right here. Yeah, these definitely ain't the right trees to be doing this with, but I'm just kind of dealing with what I've got. And see, what you got in here basically is you got your camo movers blanket, and you step over inside it and see it's gonna fall. And once it falls, that's okay, because that's what you want. You aim it down inside here, and as you can see, the corners, they're up, you know, no big deal. And if the trees are okay, you can stretch out a little bit more. Now this ain't right here. That end right there may need to be up a little bit more, but you can pretty much lay in here at night. Nap time.
No nap time. How many times do I have to tell you? No nap time.
I have to put the tarp on it now.
Yes.
Alright, now, and like I say, if you want it to go from a 3-star hotel to a 5-star.
Grills.
Just grab you a blanket and you get your blanket right over in the center. Now, I'm going to show you something right here. Like I said, there's a million different ways of setting up this type of teepee. Basically, you're pulling the trees in. Now, if you want to climb higher and clear all the trees off, what I do is you got a tarp that's set up this way with all these grommets. You got one on the end and several right there, because you can just wrap it around the trees. And so you've got an adjustment. You can wrap it around the trees right there, and you'll just have a small hole in the top. And it'll be so packed full of branches and leaves that you'll be okay. But what I'm gonna do, instead of getting up there and tying, I'm gonna jump up there and try to use a bungee.
Uh-oh. I sense disaster.
Maybe not. Now, this is what I was talking about the step. Okay? Tie your extra rope right there for a step.
And there's your disaster.
That's all you do right here, then is you just grab this thing right here. Reach up. Put your foot up here.
Uh-oh.
Climb up. Okay? You got me shot up here? I mean, you're not shooting me. And you just reach around with a bungee cord.
Bang.
You pull it around that mess of leaves right there. Okay? Find the other end. Like I said, we ain't trying to win no beauty contest.
I've rated it 4 stars now.
It's rated 4-star now. Now, if you want to fight with paracord up here, you can. What I always do, I think a bungee's a lot quicker. Okay? Now, once you get it secured up there at the top, then all you gotta do is wrap it.
Huh, looks nice and waterproof. Nice beach problem. Waterproof, I mean.
Then when you get around up here, let's see. Always have a carabiner in your pocket. Flip you on a carabiner. Grab you one of these grommets. Right here. Okay? Now, see how that branch is holding it off? Now, if this was the real deal, if you was going to get rained on, snowed on, cold, drop dead, I would climb up on this step and I'd take my machete and chop all them branches off and pull the top end. Okay? But I'm not chopping all them branches off for no reason, just to show y'all this shelter. So, and you know, pretty much you get the basic idea, but you just gotta get rid of them branches and things on the top and pull it in. So that right there is the living tree teepee. Isn't that neat? Bring it over here, man. Check out the inside. Now, don't that look cozy neat?
I changed my mind. I'm gonna sleep here tonight.
Well, then I'm gonna have to go get the other tarp out of the other truck. Okay. I gotta tell you, Nick, that last teepee was the ugliest teepee we've ever made.
Oh yeah.
Which one should I do next?
How about the one with 2 hammocks?
Alright, that'll be cool, yeah. Actually, it's got 3 hammocks.
Oh.
Alright, we'll do that one. Alright. The wind has really picked up this time, so I'm hoping that you're going to be able to hear me. This has done turned into quite a long video, so I'll try to keep things moving along. But this next shelter, basically, okay, you need 3 logs, whatever size, whatever as big as you can carry, as big as you can get a hold of. Okay, now, this next shelter, it's along the lines of basically a big tripod. But you know, as far as I'm concerned, a tripod covered with a tarp, standing up, kind of like a teepee. And now this is a pretty good one. You don't have to have the tarp if you don't want to, but the tarp is pretty cool because it, you know, offers protection from the wind and the rain. And this thing, it's also known as either the dual hammock shelter or the triple hammock shelter. Okay, because you can either use 2 hammocks or you can use 3 hammocks. And it's pretty neat because if you've got, like, if there's a bunch of trees knocked down, if there's a clearing, if you got 2 people that you want to stay at a shelter, it works pretty good. And another thing is, if you want to sleep out under the stars, this is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But anyway, you may want to find something to prop all this up on. Let's see if I can move this right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie these up and then stand it up. Okay, so I'm going to tie these up and then we'll cut you back on. Alright, now as you can see, pretty much what I've done here is I've gone around all of them and then I frapped between them and then did a figure 8 over the top. Then when you get done, you just leave rope hanging in the middle. That's all there is to it. Now comes the hard part. You just got to kind of lift it up. Oh! You want to kind of lift this whole thing up. Start spreading these out. Can you kind of get all this?
Yeah.
You need to back up in.
No, I can view it from here.
Alright, now see, and then the further out that you get these spread out, the tighter it's going to get. Okay? Now what this thing is here, you got this rope in the middle, and that's pretty good because you can have a fire in the middle, hang a pot from it, and everybody can feel the fire, and you can cook from it. So now what we've got is pretty much whatever you need for 2 to 3 people can be in a small butt pack. So as far as sleeping arrangements. Now I think you know how to tie up a hammock. So what we're going to do, okay, I got some stakes for the tarp and some paracord. And what we got is we got Nick's hammock, we got my hammock, and then we got a third hammock that I'm going to show you how to rig up a different way. Now, I'm going to tie up the first 2 hammocks, and what you do is you tie them up and then you spread these legs out. The 2 hammocks are tied to the biggest post, okay? They'll share 2 hammocks. So I'm going to tie them up and then I'll get back with you. All right, now what we got here is we got our tripod shelter set up, and then I got Nick's hammock tied up right here, and then I got my hammock tied up right here. Now, like I say, it's basically a big tripod, and what you want to do is you want to tie the 2 hammocks to the biggest log, okay? Now, you can have a tarp on the top. You don't have to have a tarp, no big deal. Now these things sag a little, but it doesn't matter because the basic idea is being off the ground. Oh. I see, it'll hold up my weight, no problem. Nick will sleep right there if we want to. We'll have a fire directly in the middle. I'll have wood here, he'll have wood there. We can reach over at night, throw wood on. No big deal, okay? Now, for the third hammock, I'm gonna show you how to rig that up. Now, for the third and final hammock, you can have paracord, but I like to use rope, okay? So what you do, I started tying this off. You tie some rope here. Now, there's an old man named Weezo. He's got some numbers by his name. He originally built the bushcraft chair, okay? And this is similar to the bushcraft chair, but you use a hammock. So let me wrap this around and we'll get back with you. All right, now what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna show you. That's a standard Rothco hammock, and the hammock over here that Nick's using now is a new one they came out with. It's got telescoping bars. Okay. Now this right here, that's the Rothco mini hammock. This is the Rothco super hammock. Okay. Now, what I said earlier is I have tied rope here. Okay. Now, the dude, like I said, the guy Weezo or Weezio or whatever, he originally started doing the bushcraft chair. Okay, that's pretty cool. It goes on a tripod, and now some of the other folks have started making the chair. I think Econo Challenge, he makes them and sells them. Well, if you just happen to have a gigantic tripod, you can use a hammock for this. Okay. What you do is you take the hammock, okay, and you wrap it around that rope in half, okay? Whoop, don't drop it. And then you take the other end, and all you got to do with the other end is tie it off up here on the center. Wow. Without getting it tangled up too bad. Let me get back with you when I got this tied up. All right, now as you can see, I got my rope here, I got my hammock doubled over, and then I got it tied up at the top. Now what I've done is I tied a piece of paracord out on the end, and then I looped it around here, and then you just give it a pull, and then that stretches it out, okay? Now the next thing that I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to loosen it up at the top to give it a little bit more bow, okay? And then that way, this can either be a chair or it can be a gear loft. Now, I'll show you real quick. All this stuff takes a little bit of manipulating and moving around and loosening and tightening. Nothing is perfect the first time. But basically, you can see how a hammock can be used as like a bushcraft chair or wilderness type chair if your tripod is big enough. Okay? So see, then at the end of the night, you got a nice place that you can put your gear. See, this thing right here, this top part, that'll stay, but actually that top part needs to be down a little bit looser. But, you know, everything that you got at night can be held off the ground in this side of things. So that's pretty much it. You know, I'm gonna take the tarp, fold the tarp over the top of it. But here, come over here a minute, pan around just a little bit more, and you kind of get a better view of it. You get the basic idea of it. You got two hammocks, and then you got a hammock over here. Just a big old giant tripod, and as you can see right here in the middle, you can have a fire right there, right where that landed, and it's pretty much going to be right in the middle of everything. And if somebody happens to sit here at night and sleep, their back's going to be nice and warm. Hey, let me show you one other thing. The reason I love Ontario machetes, this is why. This is Nick's machete. It's a Frost Cutlery Scorpion.
That was a serious fail.
It was. So, all right, let's get the top over this thing, and then we'll get out of here, okay? So you can put a few tie outs and tie out this part, or if you want it to be like a real teepee, you can just lean you another stick up in here and let this sit on it. Alright, now that's more like it. It's supposed to have a bow in it right here. I lowered that down a little bit. See? Now it's kind of like a chair. Isn't it neat? This might need a little bit tighter, but it's still pretty cool. So, alright, I hope you enjoyed the 3 really weird teepees, cause you know, this one's pretty cool. Me and Nick slept in it a few times out under the stars. The first one's my absolute favorite. Now the second one, what can I say? Had to throw it in. But hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.